Hey guys, welcome back to
Another episode of Things We Never Told Our Mom.
episode 2.
Thank you guys so much for supporting our
Honestly,
first episode. I appreciate all 67 of you that watched our
67. No, honestly, shout out to you guys
No,
because
for real.
we've been getting like messages of like people that are actually listening to the podcast, and it honestly just makes me happy that you guys.
It literally warms my heart that people are actually watching and listening and have things to say back. Like, all our hard work is for something,
Yeah, I feel like a businesswoman.
Type shit, type
And when we
shit.
get out the trenches, y'all coming
I'm gonna
with.
put you in a little C class or something. Okay, so we want to start doing a new segment where we just kind of catch up what's been happening in our life in the past week. So I don't know what we're going to call it yet. Leave some suggestions in the comments. Also, thank you to the guys who commented on our video
Oh
because,
yeah, shout out to you guys
yeah, all three
because
of you, two of you.
two of the comments were us.
No, yeah, thank you guys so much. But yeah, we're not sure what we're going to call this segment.
It's just like an update.
Yeah.
Go first.
So, guys, the craziest thing happened to me at work. So I have this coworker, and we'll call him John. John barely started working at my job. Actually, he doesn't even work for our company. He's actually an agency nurse. I'd like to preface this by saying if you don't know where I work at a mental and behavioral group home facility. So that sets the tone. So yeah, he is a on-call agency nurse, and he happened to be working with me this day, and he kind of came in telling us about his life story. Not that I really cared. Not in a rude way, but it's just like you don't meet someone and tell them your life story. And he started talking about his problems with his wife and how they're getting divorced. They have 3 kids together, da 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 da. Long story short, I love to make these jokes with my coworkers, like that I'm looking for a boyfriend or a husband or whatever. And like, if you know someone, let me know, blah, 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 blah. I had told John, I was like, oh my gosh, like if you send me money for my hair, like I will be your girlfriend. And he was like, I'll send you the money anyways. Like, you don't even have to be my girlfriend. Da, da, da. I was like, oh, better for me, you know? So he sends said money through Cash App, and during this transaction, he decided that he was going to show me his bank account, and he had a couple racks in there, so
Savings and checkings.
savings and checkings, guys.
So
That if you're in nursing school, don't quit. It's worth it. Actually, slide me something once you start working. Anyways, so I'm not thinking anything of it because it's like not. I don't really care. Like I'm just trying to get the bag. You feel me? So about 25, 30 minutes later, my phone starts ringing. Unknown number. And I have caller ID. So I'm like, I wonder who this is. Don't answer. Rings again. I don't answer. Then John pulls me to the side and he says, hey, will you please explain to my wife? Mind you, when I met him, this was ex-wife. We're getting a divorce. Da da da. He said, can you please explain to my wife that we are not having sex and we don't have an intimate relationship? And I said, why would she think that? And he was like, she saw rather, the money that I sent you. Guys, at this point, I'm like, you idiot. You share an account with your wife, ex-wife, whoever this woman is, and you sent me money and you knew she was going to see it and you did it anyways, but now you're acting all scared. So this lady's literally blowing up my phone. Like I'm telling him to tell her to leave me alone because I don't have any dealings with this. Eventually he's on the phone with her. She's yelling, screaming at him. I grab the phone and I'm like, look, lady, I'm going to be respectful, but I also need to let you know I don't even have your husband's number. Okay. I'm not interested in your husband. And you know what? I didn't say this, but in my head, I'm over here thinking, you thinking that I want your man and he ugly? It's a personal attack on my character. Anyways, long story short, she kept harassing me and I literally had to threaten her and say, like, I'm going to the police if you don't leave me alone. So that happened to me.
Gloria had to be a little Karen in that moment.
Cause why are you check your husband? And they got kids. I get it. Y'all got kids to feed, and no, I did not send the money back.
No, because I asked her today. I was like, "Did you use it for what you said you were gonna use?" She's like, "No, I paid a bill."
No. I came in, everybody's expecting my hair to be done. The whole time I pay my bills.
I mean, technically, that's your money now, so you can do whatever you want
True.
with it.
Inconvenience fee.
Exactly. Well, my updates are not as crazy as Gloria's, but I don't know if you guys remember, but in the last podcast, we were talking about like relationships and like icks and stuff, and I was like, that I give too many chances. standing on business. I've been
It built
standing
up,
on,
y'all.
yeah. It marinated, and then if I finally got it. Well, I wouldn't even say it's an egg. I just like don't care anymore.
Type shit.
And I know some of our listeners are on my spam, so y'all know that I just don't care no more.
You spam locked in.
Spam locked in. I'm starting on business. Also, one of my friends recommended me a church to go to, so I will start doing that next week.
And I'm
Hopefully,
gonna go with her.
yeah, Gloria's gonna come with me, because I actually want to do the like getting closer to God, and she said like this church, it's like different because they talk about like what we go through in our age. So I'm excited for
And
that.
I think it's better to like be able to relate to your
Exactly.
pastor or like the people in your church, because
Yeah.
sometimes when they talk about like, I don't know, like when I was like in 5th grade and I would go to church like every single day, I remember the pastor would always preach about like, I thought I was gonna lose my house. Like, y'all, I'm in 5th grade, I don't have a
I
mortgage.
don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, what my friend and I were talking about, and we were like, we're Catholic, and we grew up. Not saying I was super religious, but when I did like my first communion or my confirmation, like you would have to go to the church to listen, and it was in Spanish, and I'm fluent in Spanish, but I just couldn't relate to any of the things the pastor was saying. And she's saying this one is different. It's a Christian church, but I mean, whatever, anything to get connected to God. So that's it.
Okay, so in today's episode, we thought it would be great to kind of get in the time machine and go back to those good old high school days.
Which, by the way, I loved high school. So
At the time, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to leave. But like, actually looking back, it was so fun
yeah,
for the
and
most part.
I like half of my junior and my whole senior year cut, so that shit's not even fair.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about. I literally did not have a graduation. That's so crazy.
You did. You just
Actually,
didn't go.
first of all, that was not a graduation.
Well, whatever it was, you didn't go.
That was a block party. Second of all,
That shit was horrible.
I'm actually glad I didn't walk across the stage, because for those of you who don't know, I was second vice
Hmm.
president in high school, and so like the exec board would sit on stage,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
you
obviously
have
you
to
had to walk
talk.
across the stage. And for some reason, literally, once I started realizing like, oh my gosh, I'm about to graduate, I started getting this weird anxiety about walking across the graduation stage, or like sitting up there
Oh really?
and all those people looking at me, which is crazy because I can do public speaking. Like, I have no
Yeah,
problem like being in a large group of people or anything like that. So I don't know why I was getting so nervous about walking, because I was like, what if I trip? Like, it's recorded, everybody's looking at me. So honestly, it's a relief. Like, it's sad because I do want like those graduation pictures. Like, my cap
yeah.
and gown's still in the plastic type shit. Like,
You have it?
yeah, they let us keep it.
Oh, they didn't let us skip
Well,
ours.
because of the inconvenience.
I don't give a fuck. They should have been like I would have paid more to keep my cap and gown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they were like, no.
Damn.
I was like, fuck yeah.
But yeah, so I'm relieved, but at the same time, like, I wish I could have just.
I feel like that's everybody though, because I was like, because we actually did have like a whole graduation
Yeah.
at Thomas and Mack, and everybody was like, we're just so fucking nervous. So it's not the walking part, it's the walking down the steps after you get your diploma
Because what if
because you
you
have
fall?
heels.
So yeah, we're just gonna go back and kind of relive our most outrageous high school stories, because if you knew me in America in high school, first of all, we were annoying. And I
We
don't give a
were
fuck.
so annoying.
And it's so funny because every time people would see us, like, you literally would never see us apart. And I feel like every time somebody saw us coming, they just knew. They just knew we were gonna start
Okay,
something.
to be fair though, I wouldn't say we were annoying, but we were shit talkers. But that's
But
because people would shit talk about us too, or
and
like
y'all would tell
start
us
with
y'all
us.
business. Why would y'all tell us y'all
Exactly. Like,
business? You
okay,
set yourself up.
a lot of people were like, "You guys are in the middle of everything." And like, no, bro. Like, I don't know if I have that aura or what the fuck, where
But
people
people
just
just
feel the
start
need to like talk to
telling
me
me.
and telling me their deepest, darkest secrets or what. Because even till this day, people
Like, I
still
could
do
just be
that.
I could be literally sitting on a train, and the person next to me would be like, you know, in 1967 I committed a murder. Like,
Yeah, and I'm like,
okay.
and that's how it was in high school and stuff. So when people would be like, "Oh, did you hear this?" Yeah, I already knew. But it wasn't like I was starting drama.
The drama came to
Came
me.
to us, yeah. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like we would do anything with the
I feel
information, to
like
be
we were the
fair.
Wendy Williams of our high school.
Probably. Honestly, without us in high school, y'all would have been bored.
Really.
Cause yeah. But yeah, a lot of people say we were annoying, which
Yeah.
I can get that, but
Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, I mean, we were the life of the party. So,
yeah, I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all.
anywho, like I said, we're gonna be reliving some of our most outrageous high school stories. Some of these you guys know about because maybe you were there to witness it, and some of them are gonna be new.
I think my like I don't even think I was a bad kid in school because my parents were really strict. But one incident did happen, and I know some of y'all know about it because y'all was there. But I basically got drunk at a football game. Not my proudest moment, but let me just, because I feel like a lot of people just think like I just showed up drunk or whatever the fuck, but a lot of people don't know the backstory. So basically, around this time, like I wasn't hanging out with Gloria as much, and I was with like a different set of friends, which I'm still like, well, I don't talk to them, but like there's no beef or anything, and I have them like on social media and stuff. But I was just like going out with them and stuff, and there was a football game and it was an away game, and we were like they were all like, oh, we should like meet up at this person's house and like pregame. Mind you, okay, I'm not gonna cap, I was lying at the time and being like, yeah, I drink like that, da, 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 da. Nope, I mean, I would have like sips of alcohol here and there, but it was never like I got drunk or like I feel like now I have a tolerance
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm an alcoholic for real. But back then, like high school, but I was so scared of my parents that I wasn't gonna be like going to parties and drinking and stuff. Basically, I got there a little bit later, so everybody was already there when I got there. Like this one situation happened with this one girl where she was like really drunk and her like parents were blowing up her phone because they didn't believe that she was going somewhere or something. Or I think she told her parents that she was already at the football game. So she was already drunk and she was like throwing up and stuff. And then I get there and then I don't know what. Like me now, I should have been like, oh, okay, like I'm not gonna drink because the girl's house we went to, her parents ended up showing up. And so I should have been like, oh, like, nah, I'm not gonna drink. But I got there and I took like literally 2 shots. But to be fair, I didn't eat before. So I'm at the house and they're talking about some okay, like since you're sober, because when I was at the house after I took those 2 shots, I was good. Like I wasn't even like nothing. And they were like, you, and go in the Uber because they had already ordered the Uber and go to the football game and we'll meet you guys there. And I was like, bet. We get in the Uber, and when I get in the Uber, I start feeling a little woozy, but I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I just remember I had to fucking pee so fucking bad. I had a bodysuit on. Oh, actually, this was after senior sunrise. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. By the way, I was a fucking junior at senior sunrise. What the fuck was I doing there? But all of my friends were like seniors at the time. I don't know. Okay, my parents say that it was the altitude
The
because
altitude.
yeah, the altitude because we were so high up from the bleachers and like the air was hitting me, which a lot of people thought I was lying about that, but that shit actually does happen. Like it does affect you if you're drinking and like the wind starts to hit you. It like I don't know. Search that shit up because I wasn't lying. All of y'all that said that shit in high school. And I'm at the bleachers and I'm feeling fucked up, like fucked up. And I just remember my other friend, shout out Emily, if you're hearing this podcast. She came with this one boy I used to talk to, and the way that situation with me and that boy ended, like it was like horrible or whatever. And I don't even remember. I think I started arguing with her, and she was like, "Come to the back of the bleachers." Like she was so mad, and I just remember.
You started arguing with her because, sorry guys, I have a piece in this story, but it's not until the end. The reason America and Emily were arguing is because America accused Emily of like talking to said boy because
Yeah.
they were friends.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because they were friends, but like the way, I don't know. Obviously now I don't give a fuck, and I love Emily to death. Like me and her are so cool, so that's the good part. But yeah, I thought she was like, cause she showed up with him, and I was like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, you gonna do this shit in front of me? And I just remember, I think I started saying shit to her or something like that. I honestly cannot remember. And I just remember she got so mad. She was like, come to the back of the bleachers. And she didn't even help me down because of how mad she was. She goes down the bleachers and I'm walking down, bro. I fucking toot, 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 down the bleachers. Like I fucking fell all the way down. I just remember laying there laughing. And I think Emily picked me up. And I go to the back of the bleachers. Honestly, guys, after that, I cannot remember nothing. I was so fucked up. I just remember like some parts of like okay, it started off as just me and Emily behind the bleachers, right? I'm looking around. It's nighttime already. And then out of nowhere, there's like five people behind the bleachers. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like,
It was
it was Emily, Gigi, shout out Gigi,
I think,
JJ.
but the one assistant principal, that tall white lady, was
No,
there.
yeah, I know. But before that, wait, what assistant principal? No, the dean.
Oh, she was the dean.
No,
Well, because she ended up being assistant principal later,
but before that, it was like our group of friends, like five people behind the bleachers, like our age. But I cannot remember. I just remember it was Emily and Gigi and like these three other girls, but I don't know who it was. After that, I just don't remember, and I just remember like I don't even remember talking to them about anything. I started crying. I don't know what I was crying about. A lot of people think I got drunk because of the guy, and I'm like, no, bro. Like that's not the case. Like I could give two fucks right now about like the guy or anything like that. Like this is not why I'm like getting drunk. I just drank like took two shots, and I didn't think this was gonna be the outcome. And then the dean was like, "Girls, you guys need to go sit down." It was Dean. Should I say the name?
yeah, who cares?
Illinois. And if anybody went to Valley knows that bitch was horrible. Like
Okay, first of all, everyone says that she was mean, but she used to be so sweet to me. I had an obsession with Hershey's Kisses, and she used to bring them to me. So, me
no,
personally, I had a great
bro,
relationship with
fuck
her.
her. Dude, anybody I know had a bad experience with her because she was such a fucking bitch for no reason. Like she hated her life, and I'm like, what that got to do with me? And
Maybe
she
she
was
saw
like,
something in me.
maybe I don't fucking know. And she was like, girls, you guys need to go sit down. So obviously my friends were trying to help me like get back up the bleachers, but she saw that I couldn't walk. And then I was crying, and I mean she put two and two together. After that, I just honestly, in that time in my life, I was going through a lot, but I just bottled everything in. But a lot of people were like saying like that the stuff that I was saying, it was because of the guy, and I'm just like, no, it wasn't because of that. You know what I mean? Like I would just want to clarify that. Like I wasn't saying like the shit I was saying because of a guy. Like I'm not gonna kill myself because of a guy. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, in that moment in my life, I felt like I didn't really have anybody. I was really depressed, and so they like put me by the concession stands, and this the new vice principal was oh my gosh, he was like the
What's
best.
his name?
Don't remember his name, but he was talking to me, and like I was telling him all these things, and he was like, no, you like you deserve to be here, like don't be, just like comforting
Yeah.
me. And then obviously they like called my parents, and my older brother and my dad came. My dad, I had never seen, my dad's not the type to really get mad like that. I have never seen that man so mad. He literally like yanked me. He's never hit me in my life, never. And he literally like pulled me. And then got home. Grandparents were in town visiting, so
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
got home. Mom and grandparents were sitting on the couch. They were trying to talk to me. I was still drunk. Like I didn't even know what the fuck I was saying. I just remember I went to sleep. The next day I got in trouble. It wasn't even like I
But I
got
came over the next day. They let me come over, remember?
no, bro. That's because remember like you did come over, but I was texting you, but I wasn't supposed to have my phone, remember?
Yeah. Wait. Wait, then how did I even come over?
Because I was texting you. I like when they went to work,
Oh, that's when I
I
came
found
over.
my phone. And
Yeah.
my grandma a real one because she saw me looking for that shit and she didn't snitch at all. Shout out to my grandma for real one. Yeah, but I wasn't even like I got in trouble like they were yelling. They were just giving me advice. And then after that I started going to therapy, which I feel like helped me a lot. So honestly, if it wasn't for that incident, I think I wouldn't be like my mindset wouldn't be like how it is now.
Type shit.
So yeah, and then honestly, I just want to say, like, start if you guys ever like feel like you're going through stuff, or you feel like you can't talk to anybody, or if you're just like a person that bottles everything up, honestly, go to therapy, because a lot of people see it as like taboo, but honestly, sometimes just talking to a therapist helps, like,
Right.
about anything. So, but yeah, that was like the wildest thing that ever happened to me, and nobody made it better when I went back to school.
And you got RPC'd.
Oh shit, yeah. Technically, I didn't even
Not
get
really, because your
RPC'd.
parents came like quick.
Well, because that happened on a weekend, and then
On a
so
Friday.
yeah, so then that Monday, I go back to school. I'm already in my third fucking period, and then they send me to the office. They call for me in my third period to go to the office, and then Dean Killinois is like, "Oh, you're gonna get RPC," and I was like, "Okay, do you want me to go home now?" And she was like, "Oh, she was saying like your RPC, but your parents need to make an appointment for you to come back to school, like to talk to them." And I was like, "Okay, should I go home?" She was like, "No, you can just stay like at school." The next day, my parents ended up going.
So she
Um,
never really like got, because RPC is like when you have to make required parent conference. That's what it's called. So you don't, until your parents come to the school, then you don't have to go to school. But since her parents came, it was like,
my parents came literally the next day, and then she was like, "Okay, you can go to class." I did have to go to like those drunken
oh
drug
yeah, you had to do those
classes, like
classes.
and I had to go with my mom, and I had to, like, they would ask you like, "Why are you here?" and shit, and I had to talk in front of like, it felt like I was a fucking alcoholic or something. And then because in order for me to like be good, I had to get the certificate. So then I think I did that 2 times, and then I got the certificate, and then yeah.
Speaking of drinking, let's just continue the alcohol related
Okay.
stories. Let me tell you guys the one time, not necessarily I got caught with alcohol, but like my friend got caught with alcohol. So this during this time, I was a cheerleader for you guys that know I was in cheer or whatever. We were in cheer. And our good friend Anissa, I hope you don't mind me telling this story. I don't even know if you listen to this, but if you do, her parents were gonna be out of town for a weekend, which her parents would travel a lot. If you don't know Anissa, she kind of comes from a wealthy family, so you know her parents would do, her mom and her stepdad would do a lot of traveling. And the first time her parents went out of town, we stayed the night. Nothing happened. We just all went to school the next morning. We got Starbucks. It was a very wholesome sleepover. The second time, I believe it was on a weekend, we decided we were going to be bad. Well, Anissa decided we were going to be bad. And before this, Anissa's mom specifically said not to have anybody at the house. So she already messed up by having me and like our 4 other friends at this
No,
sleepover.
because
What?
didn't you guys do 2 sleepovers?
That's what I just said. The first one was
Okay,
wholesome.
okay. Sorry.
Y'all hear this? Anyways, so she already messed up by having us over there after her mom specifically told her not to have anybody at the house. So we all pack ourselves in Anissa's car with our overnight bags. It's a Friday. We get to Anissa's house. The turn up gets to turning up. Anissa's like, "Oh my gosh, guys, wait, I have something." We're like, "What is it?" She goes in this like closet thing and she gets out like these bottles of alcohol. So me, I do not like really dabble in that like at the time.
Oh, okay. I was
Girl,
about to say she a whole ass alcoholic now too.
at the time, I had to be like 15 or 16. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, guys, like
Chill.
we don't even drink them." That's the crazy part. We didn't even drink them. We just have them there for the aesthetic. We're taking videos. We got a speaker on, music
To be
playing
cool,
loud.
that's
Yeah, we're
yeah.
just trying to be cool. We're dancing around, literally a scene out of a movie. Anissa's mom walks in. Immediately, immediately, Anissa's mom's jaw is on the floor. The stepdad is like on the phone, like on a business call or something like that. He's like, "Hold on, I have to call you back." He hangs up. He's like, "What is going on?" We're all getting
I
mad
think her
scared.
stepdad is white too, so you know how he said
Yeah,
that
and he's
shit.
strict too. So he's like, "What is going on?" And Anissa's mom's like, "I can't believe this." Da, 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 da. Little do they know, we just had him out. Like we were not drinking the alcohol. Like we just
Yeah.
had him there. And so she's like, "Everybody go to Anissa's room." So I'm like, "Shit, I'm gonna go." let's go to Anissa's room. So we're in Anissa's room. Her parents are freaking out, like basically figuring out what they should do. Anissa's stepdad rather, is like, I should call your parents, like da da da, saying he should call all of our parents and stuff like that. But our parents don't even know each other, so it's like I could give you a whole fake number.
Yeah.
So we're like, and Malia starts getting like really scared because Anissa's mom actually knows Malia's mom.
Yeah, because they're friends. They were best friends.
So Malia starts looking around the room and she's like trying to figure out how she can leave. And she's like, I'm going through the window. I'm going through the window, guys. Like, it's never that serious. Plus, Anissa had a screen on her window that couldn't really come off that well.
Oh.
So it was like, how are you going to go through the window? So eventually, we just said that Kiana's mom or dad or whoever was going to pick us up.
Yeah.
We like lied or something like that. And they were like, okay, like, because we had to leave. Obviously, they weren't going to let us stay after that.
Correct.
But in reality, I don't know if you remember Hector. He was the one.
Oh, he picked you guys up?
He's the one who picked us up.
Dude.
Because he had a crush on Gwen at the time.
Yeah,
so Gwen texted him, was like, Hector, we really need your help. Da, 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 da.
He was a real one.
We were like, should we just, because it was too late to take the bus, right? Because we had no means of transportation. Nobody drove but Anissa. We had no means of transportation. It was too late to take the bus. And we couldn't walk because if we walked, it was going to take us 23 hours to get home.
She lived pretty far.
Yeah, because she lives far. So we were like, okay, what are we gonna do? So Gwen texts Hector. He's like, she's like, Hector, I really need your help. Da 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 da. Hector's like, yeah, I'll do it. Of course he would. So he comes, but Anissa lives in a gated community. So he can't get in because you have to pass the security. And if you're not on the list, like, babe, you're not getting in, or you don't have a code or a transponder. So we're like, how are we gonna get out? So we see a little gap underneath the gate and the concrete, and they're like, we're gonna get out that way because the gate that you can walk through, you also need a code for. So everybody goes under. It's my turn to go under. Guys, look, the Lord has blessed me with some big tatas.
And in high school, they used to be like really big.
I literally used to be a G in high school. So, and if you saw me in high school, you know how big my boobs are. I can't get under this gate. The head goes, my boobs are not fitting underneath this gate. I, for a moment, thought I was going to be stuck and we were going to have to call the fire department. I was getting scared. And then after I finally, like, people were pulling me. They were pulling me to get me under. After we finally get my boobs through, it's time for the butt. The butt's not going through the gate. So then the whole thing of me getting stuck, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? Da, da, da. We're going to have to call the fire department. Eventually I get through. I'm like dirty as fuck because the concrete, like, I'm rubbing all up against this concrete. I have scratches on me. Anyways, Hector takes us to Gwen's house. We show up to Gwen's house. I don't even think we told her mom that we were coming. We show up. Gwen unlocks the door. Her mom's like, oh, you guys are back. Like, nothing ever happened. Yeah. She makes us food and we go to bed.
Yeah.
Anyways,
her mom was really cool.
Anissa ended up getting her car taken away. I'm so sorry, Anissa.
Is this sleepover the one, like, the football thing?
No, that was the first one. I don't know how it ended up getting stuck with me, but it did. Mind you, my mom does a lot of traveling, so she would be gone for like a week or two at a time sometimes or whatever. So this just happened to be a time where my mom was not in town. So yeah, it got stuck with me or whatever. And like we said, we cheered. So I had a lot of cheer bags because I was a cheerleader also in elementary school and in middle school. So I have a lot of cheer bags. So I'm like, I'm just going to put it inside of a cheer bag, 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 if that makes sense. So I do. I didn't think anything of it. Weekend goes by. My cousin ends up coming over because she's like, hey, I got to borrow something. I'm like, okay, cool, sure, whatever. She walks through the door and she's like, do you have drugs in here? I'm like, what would make you think that I have drugs in here? And she's like, because I can smell it from the front door. I'm like, holy shit. Mind you, I haven't left the house, so I don't know that it smells like this. Like, I'm oblivious and I'm by myself. I'm the only person in this house. So I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. So I immediately call my friend. I'm like, dude, you need to come get your shit. Like, I can't have this. Like, obviously I'm going to get in trouble and I don't even freaking do this. Like, da 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 da. She's explaining that she can't because I don't know what's going on with her and her toxic boyfriend, but basically she couldn't come get said product. And she was like, why don't you just sell it? And I was like, bitch, do I look like a drug dealer to you? No. I thought about throwing it away, but I'm like, no, I can't do it. I just didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So then the bright idea of burying it dawns upon me. So I go outside, and if you know my backyard, it's mostly rocks. So there's rocks, and it's covered, the dirt is covered by like a black sheet, like, like that black.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, they put down and then they put the rocks. So I had to dig up all the rocks. I had to cut out a square in the black sheet. And then I had to go get a shovel and dig down and put the weed in there because I'm so scared of getting in trouble. So I put it there. I go to Home Depot, Lowe's. I put the black sheet back, right? I looked up
Yeah.
on YouTube how to do it. I put the rocks back. Looks seamless. Totally forgot I had a dog. So my dog, when I take her outside to pee, she's like in that area sniffing. And in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she doesn't find it. So then I took it back out. I dug a little deeper and then I put everything back. And to this day, that weed is still in my backyard. So guys,
My sis was scared.
don't hold your friend's weed.
You could have honestly just flushed it down the toilet.
I didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
actually, I should probably dig it up and see what it looks like. It's gonna be crunchy.
Yeah.
Imagine it's still good. Shit.
Fuck that. You gonna test it out? Fuck that. That's so crazy. This is why I'm saying stay away from the alcohol and the drugs in high school.
No, for real, it's not worth it.
If your friends are doing that shit, don't.
They're lame.
Yeah.
Especially if they're peer pressuring you.
Yeah.
You know what else isn't worth it? Getting yourself involved in situations you don't need to be involved in. That's what's not worth it. And let me tell you how I did that in high school.
Please do.
So I was on the cheer team, as I've stated like multiple times throughout this podcast. And our cheer team was locked in. Like, that is literally the closest group of friends I've ever had in my life. Like,
yeah,
there was beef, but it was like with your sister. Like, if you beef, like the next day it's over, you know? Well, this beef wasn't over the next day because
bro, Gloria was like,
so
it goes back
first
to
of all,
that
it wasn't
people
even
telling
me.
No, it goes back to people telling
us their business.
Yeah.
So okay, so one day we're getting ready for a pep rally. And was it the V Game pep rally?
Yes.
So we're getting ready for the V Game pep rally. And if you don't know what the V Game is, it's basically Valley's basketball game against Las Vegas High School. They do it every year.
It's like a rivalry.
And whoever wins, gets the trophy, blah, blah, blah. So we're getting ready for this pep rally. And I see my good friend Olive.
Can I just preface that everything was going good that day? Like,
the sun was shining.
Sun was shining. Everybody was super excited for the V Game because, like, if you've ever been to the V Game, you know, like, the vibe is just amazing.
It's just there, even though we would lose. Like, the vibe was great.
It's just like everybody from school would go. Like, it was just amazing.
So we're all getting ready for this pep rally, and I see me and Malia.
Yes.
Yeah. My friend Malia, as mentioned in the other story. We see our friend Olive like chatting it up with this guy. And
she had a boyfriend.
First of all, guys, literally, I'm not innocent in this story, but I had the least to do with this story, and you'll see why in a second. Even though I got the most shit for it, I was like, anyways.
Yeah.
So Malia's like, oh my gosh, look at this, da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, she has a boyfriend, da 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 da. And at the time, this guy that Olive was chatting it up with was also messing with our other friend, you know, sexually.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll call her Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah.
Not to be confused with a different Tiffany. But anyway. So Malia's like, we should tell Tiffany. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if we should do that, because I know how Tiffany is and I know how Tiffany can get, and Tiffany is going to take this to the next level. So Malia was like, no, we should, because she shouldn't be doing that. Da, 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 da. And I was like, okay. And at the time, Olive was friends with Tiffany, but they weren't, like, they used to be super close, but then they weren't that close. So it's like, but Olive should still know better, you know?
Yeah.
So Malia starts texting this group chat with me, her, and Tiffany. And we're all talking about it. And Tiffany's like, send me a picture. I need to see it. And I'm like, bruh, do not send her a freaking picture. Which I've already got myself like involved in this. So I'm like, there's no way of getting out of this. Like, there's nothing I can do. And I'm just like, I don't think that's necessary. And she's like, no, send me a picture. Send me a picture. And I'm like, bro, I'm telling you. She's like, send me a picture. I'm like, okay. So Malia goes and snaps a picture of Olive and this guy. We'll call him Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
She snaps a picture of Olive and Dusty, sends it to Tiffany. No response. So I'm fucking scared because I know how Tiffany can get. I'm like, this bitch is crazy. Like, she's going to do some outlandish shit. And outlandish, she did. She sends the picture of Olive and Dusty to Olive's boyfriend, who at the time was not even in the state.
Mm-mm.
Like he was like in the army or something, I don't
Yeah.
know. And I guess I don't know what the conversation they had was, but like we're thinking everything's cool, kind of, sort of, not really, because we haven't heard from Tiffany in a minute until Olive storms in the cheer room and she's like, "Who sent this?"
Yeah.
And her phone, we all look, and I look at Malia and I'm like, "Holy fuck."
Can I just say that was one of the most awkwardest, uncomfortable situations I've ever been in, and I wasn't even a part of it. I remember they're setting up for the pep rally. We're in the cafeteria. I remember I was actually sitting at the same table that Malia was sitting at. I didn't even see her snap the picture.
Because she was being sneaky.
Sneaky. We're all in the cheer room. Why were we in the cheer? I don't fucking know.
Because we were getting ready. We were just like sitting, talking, like doing what we
Oh,
usually do.
for the
pep rally.
The pep rally, yeah. And she comes storm. I remember she asked me. She was asking everybody first before
She was
asking everybody all together.
And so then she finally comes in there and she asks, and I look, and me already knowing, I'm just silent.
No. This is how I know I'm fucking like I could be a detective, because when she comes into the cheer room being like she was so like she was stressing.
Yeah.
She was like, when she was like, "Who sent this?" Da, 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 I'm looking around the room. The two people that always got the most to say are quiet as fuck. I'm looking at Malia and I'm looking at Gloria, and then I remember specifically Gloria's like, "I have an iPhone 6. My camera quality is not that good."
And
why would you say that?
At the time, I did have an iPhone 6, and it was before like you could get live pictures, and the picture was live.
Yeah.
Automatically, that ruled me out.
But she said that shit, and I was like, But I'm looking around the room. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, like what?"
And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, who sent that?"
Yeah,
like,
everybody's like, "Wait, why would they send that?" And I'm looking at Gloria and Malia. I'm like, "Yeah, I know it was y'all two," but I didn't say anything. And then
I'm stressing because I'm like, bro, I don't even want to be in this situation right now. You guys don't understand how bad I did not want to be in that situation. Like, I wanted to remove myself so badly, and I feel like during like the text messages with Tiffany and Malia, I tried to remove myself so many times, but they kept dragging me back in, and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's no way to get out of this.
Yeah. And then so then that whole day was just weird because we performed at the pep rally,
and the dynamic of the cheer team was just off. So eventually, I don't even know how we ended up owning up to it.
Yeah, you ended up telling her.
Yeah.
No, so you told her before we actually performed.
Oh yeah, I did. I told her before, and I was like, look, like da da da, this happened, and Tiffany sent it. And mind you guys, I had the least to do with the story, but I was the one who got like literally Olive was so mad at me, and she like wouldn't talk to me or anything. I'm like, why is she mad at me? But she was over here talking to Malia, reconciling and stuff like that. I'm like, it's Malia's fault. It's Malia's fault.
I don't know why these bitches decided to tell Olive before we were gonna perform, because when we were performing it was so awkward, and then after we performed it was still awkward. And I just remember they pulled me outside because it was lunchtime at this time, and you guys told me that it was you two, and I was like, I fucking knew it. And then we still had that big game. It was so awkward, and she was a captain of the cheer team,
and we had practices after that. Like, it was really awkward.
The dynamic changed after that.
Yeah, it was especially awkward between me and Olive, and I feel like I never got to tell my side of the story, because if someone actually looked at my phone and looked at the messages, like, I wasn't innocent, but like I said, I tried so many times like to avoid this situation from happening. And then I remember I ended up telling Tiffany, like, hey, like, this happened, da da da. And she was like, I don't care. I don't care. That's what she gets.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
What they
But
does.
Babe, Dusty, it's really Dusty's fault.
It's actually Dusty.
And you know what's even so funny? Even though Dusty was really the antagonist in this story, Olive and Tiffany kept fucking with Dusty.
That's what I'm saying. And
it went on for a while, because down the road, I obviously knew that they were like both like messing with him or whatever. And I think Tiffany just assumed Olive stopped messing with him after that, but that actually wasn't true. And so like 6-8 months goes by, and they're still talking to the same dude. Like, they're still dealing with the same dude. Okay, so we're in the next school year at this point. So as I get closer to this person, she starts to tell me that she's in a sexual relationship with this guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never really asked who it was, didn't really care. And eventually one day she spills the beans to me that it's Dusty. And I'm like, there's no fucking way you're fucking with Dusty.
Mind you, he's already graduated.
Mind you, I know that he's freaking doing the same thing with Olive and Tiffany.
3 of them.
So now we got Charlotte in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, you know, I'm like, oh girl, you know, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in my head, I'm thinking not really. Anyways, there's this other girl that I was friends with, and she had graduated too, but at the time, like I was still in contact with her as well. And she starts to tell me that she's in a sexual relationship with this guy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who? And she's like, Dusty. I'm gonna call this girl Sarah. And I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way.
Like, he was just bouncing from every girl.
But it wasn't even bouncing. He was literally with these women all at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
And these women are all unrelated. So in my head, I'm thinking, I have a piece of information that could actually make the world blow up right now. Like, if I slip up, if someone goes through my messages in my phone and sees, like, me talking to these, 5 women? 4 or 5 women?
I think he had a girlfriend at the time, too.
And he did have a girlfriend. And in my head, I'm thinking, there's just no way. And to this day, 2 of the women know, because I actually had to sit them down and be like, look, y'all both fucking with Dusty.
Yeah.
But the rest of the women don't know this. Moral of the story is, don't fuck with Dusty.
No, just don't fuck with anybody like Dusty, because he was actually Dusty in real life.
He's still Dusty.
Yeah, he still is. And, oh my God.
But isn't it so crazy? Like, even like now, like thinking back, like it's so crazy that I knew every single person that this Dusty guy was with. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys.
Yeah. But it's not so crazy.
That is crazy.
It was like community dick. Like literally.
Literally. That is the definition of community dick. Honestly, my high school experience wasn't that wild though. It's not like I have like
mine either. It wasn't like I was a fucking bad.
Yeah, we were really good kids.
We were good kids, yeah, for the most part.
Moments of
obviously, like, we did teen shit, but I mean,
yeah,
like people were doing cocaine and shit. Like, you never.
Obviously, that girl offered me cocaine. I have never been more astonished. Do I look like I do cocaine, bitch?
You know what's crazy though? That back then, that if someone were to like be like, "You want to do cocaine?" that would have scared me. Now it's such a big thing.
Yeah,
I know so many people that do cocaine. I'm just like, are you guys okay?
Actually,
and they look like they're my age. They're 20 and they look like they're 30. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, you're fucking up.
But that should be making you lose weight. So maybe I do need to.
No, weed. Weed makes you lose weight.
But weed makes you like.
No, it makes you lose weight.
Smoked out.
Yeah. You have to smoke a lot of weed to lose weight, though. Like everyday type shit. I'm not. No.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
But
fuck Ozempic. Let's do cocaine. That's all we have for today, guys.
That's all.
Please like this. Please comment. Please share it with someone.
How about you guys share your craziest?
Yeah. Comment your craziest
high school stories, experiences.
Maybe we played a part in your little high school story.
We probably did because we were fucking annoying.
Because we started so much shit.
You know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because why y'all telling me y'all business?
Yeah, I shouldn't have been telling us y'all business. And you know what? We practice confidentiality. So, you know what? I forgot one story.
What?
I asked Hannah if I could tell a story about like before she started dating Turner.
About what?
Were you there when Hannah started dating Turner, or was this before you came?
No, I was there when she started dating Turner.
Okay, so basically, our good friend Hannah, Alejandra, she started dating this guy named Turner. I don't think Turner minds us saying it. I'm not about to text him and ask him either. So Turner, if you're listening to this,
he don't even be on social media like
he
that.
don't. So she started dating this guy Turner, right? But before that, like for some reason, every guy that like Malia would have a crush on, and Hannah was on the cheer team too, so we spent a lot of time together, and so was Malia. For some reason, every guy that Malia had a crush on, Hannah, we would always see them with her. And so I'm like, nah, Malia, we got to test this theory out. Like, because I remember Malia had a crush on Oscar, or like thought he was cute.
Malia?
Yeah.
On Oscar?
She thought he was cute or something like
that. On Oscar?
Yes.
No, that was me.
First of all, it was both y'all. Anyways.
She had a crush on Tommy.
No, but this is how... Oh, shit, she did have a crush on Tommy.
See?
Anyways, so Malia had a crush on Tommy. My bad, y'all. And I remember one day we see Hannah and Tommy walking out the gym together, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Tommy and Hannah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, can you let me tell the story?
Okay, I'm sorry because you're confusing me.
Well, listen.
Because why would Tommy and Hannah be? Okay.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
Sorry. Not too much.
We leaving this in. Anyway, so we see Tommy and Hannah walking out of the gym together. And to me, that wasn't abnormal because they're both in IB and like the IB kids will always hang out together. But it's just like, why are y'all specifically together? It's super weird. So me and Malia looking at each other and I'm like, hell no. Nah. Malia's like, I know that's not my shit. So
mind you, Tommy.
Tommy's not cute. Anyways, look. So I told Malia, I was like, we're going to run an experiment. You're going to pretend to have a crush on somebody that nobody would suspect. And if we see Hannah with that person, we know she's like, but at the same time, how would Hannah even know what me and Malia are talking about? It was just a coincidence. It was literally like, and this happened with like 5 guys prior to the Tommy thing.
Right.
Like it was super, super weird. And of course, Hannah, like, she's not a malicious person, so it's not like she's doing it. She didn't even know.
One of the best people ever, honestly.
She was literally innocent. Anyways, so I'm like, you're going to have a crush on somebody that nobody suspects. And she's like, who? And I'm like, let me think. So I give it a couple days, right? Because I'm scouting. I'm looking. I'm scoping the scenery out. Turner's quiet. He keeps to himself. He is like the perfect person to test this on because who the fuck is talking to Turner? Not like that, but like
he's just super
he's
to
only
himself.
The person who speaks when spoken to.
Yeah,
shit. So
I think I heard him speak like once in my life.
I'm like, he's like Ferb from Phineas and Ferb.
Basically.
So I'm like, you're gonna have a crush on Turner. She's like, okay, bet. I'm like, you gotta start talking to him, and then we'll see. So I think she like talked to him like once or twice. Next week, Hannah's dating him. And they dated for a cool minute.
So me and Malia are like a really long time.
Yeah, me and Malia are like, there's just no fucking way. Anyways, Malia swore like Hannah had some like witchery on her or something. I'm like, dude, no, it's just coincidence. I don't know how to explain the Turner thing.
Yeah. No, Hannah is just likable. Like,
yeah, no, she's very personable.
And then Turner was in IB too. So
yeah,
then
and like they had like classes together.
They were in the same friend group. So it just made sense. Her and Tommy, that shit doesn't make sense.
Hey, look. My girl innocent though.
Because wasn't Tommy in a relationship? Leave that name out.
Hey, we're not gonna talk about that. Anyways, guys, that wraps up this episode of things we never told our mom. Actually, there's a lot of things I never told my mom in this episode, so sorry, Mom.
Yeah, like everything in this episode. I never
literally everything.
Well, except for the drunk.
Except for the drunk thing.
Okay, I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, I think that wraps up this episode.
Comment your guys' high school.
Comment the funniest part of this podcast
or stories. But yeah, talk to you guys.
Talk to you guys next week.
Episode. Bye.